If your law firm has a process for asking clients to leave Google reviews, there is a real chance that that process just became a policy violation. Pay attention to this, lawyers. In April 2026, Google made its probably most significant update to review rules that I've seen in years. Two new rules were like quietly added to the Maps rating manipulation policy, I guess we could call it. On April 17th, these things came down, and they're effective right now. Enforcement is already active, and most law firm owners probably have no idea this happened because their marketing agency didn't tell them or it wasn't discussed at a bar meeting. So I want to just walk you through exactly what changed, why it actually matters specifically for law firms, and really what a compliant review strategy looks like, because I think you still can win by getting Google reviews. There's just a way that you're going to have to do it now that is a little bit different. So Google added two new explicit things that they just don't want you to do. Both of those things a lot of law firms are doing right now. So the first one is that you can't ask staff to solicit a specific number of reviews. If your firm has a review quota, you're doing contest, or maybe there's per attorney goals tied to review accounts, those are now policy violations. So you just can't do those anymore. The individual staff incentives that a lot of firms do that tied to a review count is gone now. Like, you just can't still set firm level goals. We want 100 new reviews this quarter, but you can't tell like each attorney or your paralegal or the front desk that they need to get 5 reviews this month to get to that goal. Prohibition like number 2 is that you cannot ask clients to include specific content in their reviews. And this is something I think everyone has started trying to tell clients to do. Make sure you say this, make sure you say that. But if your intake follow-up asks clients to mention that they worked with, let's say, a specific attorney, or you ask them to talk about maybe a specific part of their case that is now against the rules. So just don't do that anymore. The content of the review has to come entirely from the client in their own words. That's the important part, in their own words. You can't script it anymore. You cannot guide it towards sort of making sure they give specific details. All of that is against the rules now. So those two changes came on top of several other enforcement tightening that Google really started to lay down as reviews become more important for the AI to learn about you. So no more AI generated reviews, they've said. No on-site review pressure, no review gating, and no incentives of any kind can be given to someone if they leave your review. And Google's enforcement is now just being powered by Gemini AI. So this just makes things even more complicated because it means AI is scanning all of your review for patterns at scale. They're not waiting anymore for someone to make a complaint or for a human to look at the review and make that decision. Law firms are now more exposed to these changes than I would think most service businesses. Here's why I'm saying that. There's a lot of law firms who have built their review process around personal touches. So those personal touches are like asking clients to mention a specific attorney by name in the review, or they're asking them to reference a particular practice area, or maybe they're just saying, hey, make sure you mention the outcome. That kind of directed ask is now off the table entirely. So just don't do that anymore. Many firms have also tied an attorney or a paralegal's performance metrics to review volume. So if those metrics are now tied to a count or a quota, that's a policy violation, and Google is just saying that you can't do that. So not even if every single review is completely genuine, they're going to be looking for that. And the stakes are like higher for law firms than I think maybe for most businesses, right? Your Google reviews are not just like a reputation tool, right? They are a direct driver of new client acquisition. And so like Google Maps ranking and AI overviews, they're now both factors heavily involved in review signals. So if your profile gets flagged or your reviews start getting removed, because we've seen this before and I'm sure you've experienced it, your pipeline is just going to take a direct hit. That's what's happening. You can absolutely still ask clients for reviews, and you should definitely still ask them for reviews. Nothing in these updates that Google has given us changes that at all. What changed is the how. So you can still send review requests by email or text after the matter has closed. You can still do that. That's compliant. You can use a QR code or even have a direct review link to Google's own platform. And their own documentation from Google confirmed all of this, where they explicitly support that as being compliant. So you can do all those things to still get reviews. And I think that's important to know. But what you cannot do is tell clients what to say, ask them to require and to put in specific details, or make the ask while they're actually still sitting in your office. That also is now something that Google says you can't do. So here's a framing that works within the new rules. You can say to your client, picking the right attorney is one of the most important decisions that they're probably ever going to make. But most people have no idea how to choose. Reviews from clients like you are often the only thing that helps them get it right, to make the right choice. You can then say to them, we would be grateful if you would share what stood out in your own words and add whatever you feel specific and personal to your own story and to your review. Just something real. That's the way to frame it, right? And that language replaces any scripted format. I think when you say it that way, it actually prompts the person to talk about their real experience without directing the content. And that's what's compliant. And that's what we're trying to do here. So I think the thing is, go pull your current review request template, and hopefully you have one. And if you don't, this is the best time now to think about that. Whatever you're sending to clients right now, just take a look at it. And I think you need to just then ask yourself 3 questions about it. The first question is going to be, does it ask clients to mention a specific attorney by name? The second question is, does it direct clients to include specific content about their case or experience? The third thing is, does it give any kind of incentive for leaving the review? If the answer to any of those three questions is yes, you just need to update your template right now. I wouldn't wait till later in the week. I wouldn't wait till next month. I do it right now because the enforcement from Google is active and their AI is watching. So if your staff has review count goals that's tied to their performance metrics, you need to take those out also immediately and just replace them with open-ended ask as the metric is there instead, right? So reward the ask, just not the count, right? We're just reframing it different so that you stay within bounds. Because without a doubt, reviews are still one of the most powerful trust signals in legal marketing. I don't want you to forget that. I mean, the reviews still feed the MapPack rankings. They still feed how you're going to come up in AI search visibility. They are worth protecting. Just make sure that you're doing it within these new goals that Google has really set for us. That's what I want you to do, because I know that the firms that keep running the old scripts, they're actually going to probably start losing reviews that they've gotten already because AI is going to say you can't use them anymore and Google's going to delete them. My name is Mark Apple. I'm the founder and partner at Forward Push Law Firm Marketing. We work exclusively with law firms, so if you like this type of content, make sure you like